video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I took this to this. Our garages often find a way of becoming our own little Pandora's box, stuffed full of forgotten projects or those junk parts that you just couldn't bring yourself to throw away. It was a mess. Tiptoeing around my car just to work on it, unable to open my doors fully or sit down beside it, no open place to put my parts out of the way or a clean table to work on. I was embarrassed every time I tried to film, desperately trying to shuffle trash behind the camera or change my angle. I was done. I decided it was time for a change. Time to rebuild this space into something worth spending time in. But in order to do that, I needed a plan. And this is how I did it. So I found this really cool tool called Arcadium 3D, and it's completely free. I had my garage walls up in less than 5 minutes. Now, it took a bit longer to set up everything else, but it was so easy and intuitive to use. But what makes this special though, is that it has a first-person view, that you can virtually walk the space that you're building, which gives you a really good indication of how your space is going to lay out, how you fit, and how all of your things will fit. And beyond that, it's got some other cool features too. If, for example, it doesn't have a part in there that you need, like these tool cabinets or whatever else, it actually has an AI feature where you can go and upload a photo of whatever it is that you own, and it will recreate a 3D model for you. And then as long as you know the dimensions of it, you can size it and scale it to what you need. That's actually what I did on my own car. As you can see, it didn't come out. It's not beautiful or anything. But it's dimensionally accurate, which was essential to this whole project. It helped me map out the whole garage down to the inch, how the toolboxes would fit, where the cars were going to go, and where everything should live. Now all I had to do was just build it. But before we do that, let's just take a second to appreciate this cold start.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it just never gets old. So the first thing I had to do was just start making space, clearing things out, and parting with things that I don't need. And honestly, that was the hardest part, was figuring out what I do and don't need. So I made a rule with myself that if I hadn't touched it in over a year and it was easily replaceable, that I would just throw it away. And that's what I did. And to be honest with you, it took a lot longer to clean all this out than I thought it was going to take. Every time I'd move stuff, I would be thinking, oh yeah, I'm making good progress, and then I'd turn around and still see a giant mess. The good news was we actually managed to line a buyer up for the same day to come pick up these old cabinets and take them out of here because I had nowhere to put any of this stuff. I basically needed a second garage to put all my stuff in it so I could remodel this garage, which just wasn't feasible. So instead what I had to do was get a little smart and play Tetris with everything remaining in the garage. And speaking of which, all materials used in this video I will leave in the description below. And so without further ado, let's see if we can get this garage done. So every workshop needs a good workbench, and I have one, but it's kind of old, it's kind of tired, it's rusty, it's ugly, it's gotta be at least 45 years old. So I'm gonna see if I can't make this thing look a little nicer with about $100 and some leftover paint. All right, so I also just wanted to give a massive shout out to Giraffe Tools for absolutely hooking it up with the Dream Garage Arsenal. That includes a wall-mounted vacuum, a wall-mounted power washer, and a wall-mounted extension cord. So follow along with me and you'll see exactly how easy it is to set this stuff up. So I needed a little more storage, and we managed to find this on the marketplace for 200 bucks. Or about 600 new, 500-600 new, so, you know, it will do. tell you guys, after 14 very long days and 14 very long nights, I am proud to present you the new Lucky Garage.
Pull me under slow, like a velvet tide. Your name on my tongue, like a spark I hide. Hands in the dark, you know where to find me. Hold it back, let it crack, I can feel it now, right before it breaks. Velvet eclipse, pull me in like this. Velvet eclipse, one more hit, one more wish. Velvet eclipse, velvet eclipse, velvet eclipse, glass on the floor, but I don't care. Your eyes say go, so I'm already there.
Alright guys, that completes the video. So I just wanted to go over a few different things just before I shut it down. Do I have any regrets? Is there anything that I would change? So I would say, overall, I think the garage remodel turned out fantastic. Can't say thank you enough to my stepdad for helping me with this one. I also wanted to make a little bit of a shout out to Obsessed Garage, because that's actually where I got this whole idea. Seeing Obsessed Garage on YouTube and the way that he does his beautiful garages, it kind of inspired me to do something like that with my garage. Obviously, I'm not Obsessed Garage, and I don't have that type of experience. That being said, there's a few things that I would have done differently doing this the second time around. What I would do differently is the wall colors. So I did Tricorn black for the ceiling per Obsessed Garage's recommendation, but I did the walls in Ice Cube gray. And at Sherwin-Williams, Ice Cube gray looked gray, but as I got it in here with the different colored lighting and all that, you can tell that it has a slight blue hue to it, and I hate it. Definitely would do that differently next time. And as far as the Tricorn black goes, when you're doing flat colors, especially black, it is extremely hard to not get streaking. I painted the walls 4 or 5 times with the most expensive Tricorn black that you can buy, the emerald washable exterior paint. It still just didn't really make a difference. So I think the trick is that you have to either spray it, or you have to be some kind of a god with the paint roller to make that work correctly. I did kind of find that using a foam roller tend to make things blend better on all of the smaller areas that I did, but all the big walls I used a regular paint roller, and I could not get the streaking to stop. The other thing that I would do, last thing I think that I would change, is the way that I ran the lighting. Originally, I wanted the lighting to kind of match this beam that I have here, because the beam runs from front to back, so I wanted the lights to go front to back. But I realized that really wasn't the best way to do this, especially with the lights not going wall to wall. I think if the lights went wall to wall, it probably wouldn't matter so much. But if I was going to do this again, I would have ran the lights going this way, because you can have one directly over the toolboxes and then keep going down the line and have one, directly behind the car. Like this, it just kind of, while it looks bright, it's not quite adequate lighting. But it was super cheap. I mean, the lighting altogether, I think I spent like $200 on. So very cheap. It looks great for what it is, but if I had the hindsight, I would do it differently next time. Finally, I want to make a big shout out to Giraffe Tools for absolutely hooking me up with their G20 Powerwasher and their Retractable Vacuum. The vacuum is awesome. Powerwasher is awesome. Can't get enough of it. It really made everything 10 times easier for me as far as, clean up and washing and all that. It's just done in lickety split. I totally would recommend it. In the next video, I have some really exciting stuff to show you guys. For the car, we are going to install some new suspension. It will be for sale on the website. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.